In my opinion, if we're going to be honest and judge players based on how they play, there's a new number 1 overall pick. There has many years ago, Geno Auriemma passed on Caitlin Clark for UConn, and even doubled down by questioning her skills as she approached the WNBA. Well, it seems those decisions are backfiring in spectacular fashion. Clark isn't just breaking records, she's obliterating them, shattering glass ceilings along the way. Geno might just be eating his words now. Auriemma, Caitlin Clark again. The world turns. It's Caitlin Clark's world. We just live on planet CA. Meanwhile, UConn's golden girl, Paige Bueckers, is struggling to keep pace. Once seen as the surefire number 1 pick in the 2025 draft, she's no longer the undisputed best in college basketball. Geno's so-called genius decision might have cost him the next big thing in women's hoops. Who's looking delusional now, Geno? Delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on what are she's 3rd or 4th in betting odds on being MVP at a WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name. Okay, so the kid was set up for failure, right? Let's take a stroll down memory lane, shall we? Remember when Geno Auriemma, the so-called basketball genius, decided Caitlin Clark wasn't worth his time? Yes, that actually happened. It's like staring at a diamond and opting for pebbles instead. So, what was the reason behind Geno's decision? Arrogance? Bad judgment? Or just an off day? Whatever it was, it's now haunting him like a regrettable late-night burrito. Her game is different than Caitlin's in that she's more of just a distributor. Get the ball. No, her game is more like Sue Bird's game. Alright? And not that Sue had the physicality to play in that league, but obviously she's the best point guard ever. But I think her game, the subtleties of her game were trans. Here's where it gets interesting. While Geno was playing hard to get with Caitlin Clark, other coaches were practically lining up, eager to recruit her. They recognized what Geno couldn't or wouldn't, a once-in-a-generation talent destined to transform the game. And get this, Clark's high school stats were nothing short of jaw-dropping. Video game level numbers. She was racking up points like a pinball machine. But Geno? He was too busy basking in past glory to take notice. Geno, baby. If Caitlin Clark is on the team, it becomes the right team. Because Caitlin Clark is on it. It's like saying Michael Jordan's not on the right team. It's the right team if Michael Jordan is on the roster. Geno placed all his bets on Paige Bueckers, banking on her as the can't-miss prospect and his golden ticket to basketball glory. But that ticket might be losing its shine. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has stolen the spotlight, dominating headlines and redefining greatness. She's claimed the Triple Crown of Honors, Time Athlete of the Year, SBJ Sportsperson of the Year, and Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year. And Bueckers? Let's just say the hype isn't matching reality, and her status as the potential number 1 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft is now in serious doubt. Sorry, can we stop judging Paige Bueckers by who she was when she was 19 years old and not judging 23-year-old Paige Bueckers? Because 23-year-old Paige Bueckers is not as good as 21-year-old Olivia Moss. And I mean that. I really mean it. And it doesn't stop there. Geno didn't just pass on Caitlin Clark. He actively criticized her, claiming her game wouldn't adapt to college, and even calling her fans delusional. Talk about a bold misstep. Now, as Clark's star continues to rise, Geno is likely tossing and turning, haunted by how badly he misjudged her. It's like he aimed for a slam dunk and ended up hitting the popcorn stand instead. Disrespectful, unknowledgeable, stupid fans. Diana said it best. Ooh boy. Diana said it best. I would like to point out that Diana Taurasi, 6-time gold medalist now because she dragged her 42-year-old aging bones over to Paris and got an extra gold medal while Caitlin Clark was sitting at home watching, presumably. Caitlin Clark's rookie year numbers are better than the sainted, the goated Diana Taurasi. Caitlin Clark's having a better rookie year than she had. Missed reality check herself. Diana Taurasi. They say pride comes before the fall, and Geno is falling harder than the records Caitlin Clark is shattering. His decision to choose Bueckers over Clark is backfiring in spectacular fashion, and analysts are wasting no time pointing out just how wrong he was. Is Clark's success keeping Geno awake at night? Absolutely. And this saga is far from over. But here's the real question. Why is Paige struggling, and how much of that falls on Geno's shoulders? I don't care how good Paige Bueckers was in high school. I really don't. Like, I'm hearing people mentioning Paige being the national player here as a freshman as why I drafted her 4 years later. I don't care. Remember when Paige Bueckers exploded onto the basketball scene like a supernova, dazzling everyone with her freshman skills? Well, that star now seems to be fading faster than a sparkler on New Year's Eve. She's having a good season so far. I don't think it's her greatest performance or her greatest season so far, and she struggled in a couple of these. Let's break it down. Sure, Paige Bueckers is still averaging nearly 20 points per game, but that's only part of the picture. Her stats, points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks have all declined compared to last year, with some even dipping below her freshman numbers. It's a stark contrast to the all-around dynamo she was coming out of high school. Until recently, they are starting their teams. Iowa beat them in the final for last season. South Carolina has been on a tear. We have LSU. Tennessee is back in the mix. We have Notre Dame coming up. We have TCU. We have Duke. I'm gonna call the two teams that Ariana and Aaliyah are on. There are these great programs who are taking a new age style of basketball when it comes to coaching, when it comes to system, and it comes to how you're letting your players play that. Maybe Geno does need to adapt. Here's where it gets interesting. Bueckers isn't just underperforming. She's disappearing in big games. Remember her 11-point dud against Holy Cross? Or the 8-point no-show against Louisville? And let's not forget the 11-point loss to Notre Dame, where her impact was about as effective as rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. The wild part? Fans are starting to toss around the dreaded O word. Overrated. Ouch. Overrated. That's got to sting. But can you blame them? When you go from being College Player of the Year to barely making an impact in key games, people are bound to talk. But here's the kicker. Is it all on Bueckers? Or is Geno's system part of the issue? Some are starting to wonder if UConn's old school approach is like forcing a square peg into a round hole. In fact, some experts believe Geno's style might be holding Bueckers back, like trying to run in cement shoes. With Paige Bueckers and the UConn Huskies front and center this season in women's basketball, some fans are starting to question Geno Auriemma's coaching style and wondering if it's truly what's best for Paige. Here's the thing. While Bueckers is shooting an impressive career-best 56% from the field, it feels like she's prioritizing efficiency over aggression. In big games, sometimes you've got to take risks, not play it safe. Thanks for watching and subscribe my channel.